Hey, good afternoon. This is Lucas Offenkamp. I am here this afternoon with Taylor Mason. Taylor is going to be our comedian and entertainer at Men's Retreat, which is actually coming just next week, February 20 to 22, Lakewood Park Bible Camp. Taylor, it's good to meet you here. And I got to cross because I'm using the questions from our guest comedian last year, so I got to cross his name out.
He
And
probably has a lot better answers and funnier answers than I will, but go ahead.
Jerry Seinfeld. He's not here this year,
Oh, I
so
didn't even know he was Christian. For some reason, I thought he was Jewish. When I worked with him before, he told me he was Jewish, but that's fine.
I'm just kidding. We
So
didn't
my
have Jerry
savior. Oh,
Seinfeld.
gosh, I thought you were serious. I'm sorry. Oh well, no
Hey,
problem.
it's good to have you here. I almost called you Jerry. Good to have you here, Taylor, and we're looking forward to meeting you in person next week. Can you
Don't
give us a
insult Jerry
little?
that way. Do not insult Jerry Seinfeld that way, by
Okay, okay, I'll make sure of
and
that.
don't insult Taylor Swift by calling me. People have done that with me too. Although
Okay,
I don't know if you saw the Eagles game, the
I
Super.
saw she got
Oh
booed,
my
huh?
gosh, yeah. It's interesting because at halftime, the score was so lopsided, the game was basically over, and Taylor Swift eloped with Travis's brother Jason. That's how
Really?
bad things had gotten during the ball game. And I'm not saying I'm not into, I like sports, but my wife is Brazilian, doesn't know anything about football per se, but she did grow up in the Philadelphia area. And as far as she's concerned, as long as the Eagles score more baskets than the other team, she's happy. And so the Eagles
Yeah.
obviously had a big win.
So hey, tell us like when did you start on this course to being a comedian? Was that grade school?
I put myself through college doing performing comedy. I've never really had a job, believe it or not. I had jobs before I became a comedian, but I've been doing this for, since the 1900s. So that's a long time ago, basically. I had a kid come up to me after a show and say, "You're from the 1900s, aren't you?" Which is, I guess you could take that as an insult, but for me, I look at it like, this is what I do for a living. I've been doing it for a long time. I love to do it. My show is basically very difficult to describe. I'm a comedian, so there's a lot of comedy, but there's also a lot of music, and there's audience participation. But to me, the in the United States of America, the holiday basically starts with Halloween, which I don't get. I'm not a Halloween guy. Okay, and here I'll give you reasons why. And we're coming to North Dakota, right? So you guys will understand what I'm saying. I grew up on a farm. My family farms. Our closest neighbor when I was a little boy was Mrs. Hallett, and she lived 2 miles away. That was our closest neighbor. So Halloween was the longest night of the year. You walk 2 miles, get an M&M, walk home, happy Halloween. What a dumb holiday this is. So I'm not a Halloween guy. I'm just saying Halloween, they start preparing for it like Labor Day. And then that party goes all the way through yesterday, the Super Bowl. The
Sure.
country's kind of in party mode until today, the Monday after the Super Bowl. And so I guess what I'm saying is we're going to have a party out at Lakewood Bible Camp in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to come out and join everybody. Comedy, music, ventriloquism, and audience participation that I cannot explain. I'm not making fun of the way people look or what they're wearing. That's not what I do for audience participation. My thing is a lot different than that. I guess the way I'd sum it up, buddy, is this: God works through people. It's kind of the theme that I do, regardless of what venue I'm in, secular, Christian, whatever. God works through people. And I know that's simple, easy words. Yeah, I've heard that since I was a kid, but it's so easy to ignore that. And my program is basically, because I don't do doctrine, my program is basically God works through people. And I use comedy as my platform to kind of show that to people and have people laughing really hard for however long I'm on stage. How long am I doing for you guys? Am I doing my usual 3 hour or 3.5?
Yeah, 3 hours. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Then it'll work out great.
Yeah. Hey, so you mentioned your associates that travel with you. Romeo, is that one of them? And then
Yeah, I have all these ventriloquist puppets that I use in my act. And, that's a weird thing in 2024. And I've had people, I work in comedy clubs. I was in a comedy club out in New York just this past Saturday night. And this is so wild, but this is where we are as a society. A grown man, 40s, 50s, comes up to me and says, "Sir," this is what he said to me, "Sir, those puppets are scary. They scared my table he sat at this table up close." And I'm, what? They're puppets. And he said, "No, no, no. the puppets were staring at me and scared us. So I said, dude, these are not puppets. These are my imaginary friends, and I've brought them to life.
Do you ever try out your new material on unsuspecting strangers?
Oh, bro, I've got so many stories about that. Okay, so my favorite, since I'm a ventriloquist, okay, hello, I can talk. Hello. All right, are you good? I'm good. Can you come over here? No. All right. So I can talk or make something. What? Never mind. I can talk. What? Stop it. I can talk and make it look like something is alive and talking when it's really not. Oh, this is Fiona. You good? Here, sit down. Okay. So on an elevator, I've had more fun on elevators than you can possibly imagine, especially in New York City. 4 or more. 4 is the minimum I need to make this happen. We're all standing there. You know, you press the button, you know, floor 27. So now you have 27 floors, which is about anywhere from 45 seconds to 1 minute and 15 seconds to have this. Did you guys hear that? What? Where are you? Up here. And everybody all of a sudden, all I have to do is look up. There's somebody up there. And the entire elevator will all look up. So I've done this. I'll bet I've done this in my life 20 times with friends, or I'm going to a job interview or an audition, which I've failed more than anybody in the history of man at auditions. But I'll be in the elevator with people and I'll say, before we get on, just watch this. I'm going to do some ventriloquism. And they'll always say the same thing. You can't do that. You can't do that. Get on the elevator. Oh, hey, did you hear that? Are you okay? So I guess I can make a point that my job as a ventriloquist is a little bit of a God-given gift that I've been practicing since I was a kid. When I was a little boy, I might have told you this already. And if I did, Lucas, stop me. I had a lisp. I could not say the letter F correctly. I couldn't say S. I had a lazy tongue, I guess you get S. I pronounced S's with a TH sound. And what a ripoff. Think about this, bud. They named the speech impediment, the lisp, with a word that has the letter you can't pronounce in the word. How much of a ripoff is that? I mean, lisp, they could have given it any other, just lip, you know, but no, they put the S in there just to humiliate you even more. I have a lisp. Yeah, kid, no doubt. But my grandmother, who did not graduate from high school, okay, my grandmother, so this is Grand Ridge, Illinois. My grandmother's family's from Streator, Illinois. My grandfather's first wife died from the pandemic of 1919. Years later, like more than a decade later, he rips my grandmother out of high school, so she never graduates, Mildred Mason. And then my dad, her oldest son, has me, and I've got a lisp. And she, without a high school education, she thought that if I learned how to do ventriloquism, and to me this is a God thing, if I learned ventriloquism, how to talk without moving my lips, right, and say all the letters correctly, I have to think and concentrate, and I would learn how to say the letter S correctly, right, with my imaginary friend, which at the time, nobody was going to invest in a real puppet for me, was a sock. So I'm in a little country house in the middle of nowhere with a sock on my hand, trying to make it say the letters, Sally sells seashells by the seashore, without the lisp. So to me, that is a God-given thing, where my grandmother, who did not study speech therapy in college, she never even graduated from high school, who took me introduced me to Jesus when I was a little kid, and helped me not only overcome my lisp, but gave me what I guess you could call a career.
On that note, we'll let you go here, Taylor. Thanks for your time, and we are looking forward to seeing you in person. It'll be next Friday night, February 21st at Lakewood Park Bible Camp during men's retreat. And the weekend starts Thursday night, and on the 20th, it ends at noon on 22nd. You can go to ndmen.org/events, find out more details. So look forward to seeing you then, Taylor, and we look forward to seeing you guys also. Thanks so much.
Lucas, thank you so much. We'll see you out in North Dakota. I can't wait.